All right, how are you? All right, I popped a poll. All right. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, I'm logged into the wrong page. What is this? I got to get over there. Interesting. What's going on? Hang on. I know what's going on. I'm in the public video, but not the private video. How do I get into that? Why is it? Hang on. Let me click a bunch of things. Live. I should be over there live. Let me get into that. And it doesn't give me, it's not. Hang on. What's going on? What if I go create Goo Live? Maybe it'll let me in. There we are. Finally. There we are. Now I'm in the right place. All right, cool. So let me mark this. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Forex.Today, the YouTube community of more than 21,000 foreign exchange traders. We gather here today to conduct technical and fundamental analysis with the overriding goal of planning our trades in advance. Because trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble. Focus on the long term, never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Just as a process, let's go through the value ladder. Everything is simplifying in the world. Okay, here's a simple decision for you. Do you like it when your broker laughs at you every time you lose money on a trade? Does that make you feel good? Does that feel right? Of course not. Trader's Way is an ECN. It uses straight-through processing. They have a symbiotic relationship with you, which means they earn an income by providing you a service, not by hoping you lose money. They do not trade against you like most brokers. Okay, so that is a good thing. So you need a good service provider. Trader's Way is a good service provider. Investor Bootcamp. Okay, this is going to become the Netflix for investors. It'll be training videos only. This is going to be rebranded very soon. Meanwhile, all the day trading group and all the day trading group and the swing trading group, that's being moved over to TRADARS. QuantBox is the way to automate your fundamental analysis so you know why the markets are moving. And once you know why the markets are moving, you know which trades to let run. Yeah, incredible detail. Incredible. It's so awesome. It's so amazing. And that is not an overstatement. Yeah. Now, all of this is being moved over to the fundamental analytics section of TRADARS. You're like, everything's moving over to TRADARS? Yes, everything is moving over to TRADARS. As soon as next month. So you'll have, TRADARS will do all your technical analysis, all your fundamental analysis. We have a scalping tool, a news trading tool. We have courses, coaches, and community. All in one section. Technical, fundamental, volatility, coaching, courses, and community. Okay. Very cool. That is happening. Stay tuned for more information. All right, so let's start with let's go to, where do we want to start? I guess let's start with commodities. And there is a poll. If you could answer the poll, I'd appreciate it. Okay. All right, let's take a look at the world. The S&P 500 seems to be okay. Okay, this is your buy zone for the day. You can go out a little further if you want, and then in that case, you would drag it out even further. So let me zoom in because it's pretty hard to see. Yeah, okay. Pretty standard, higher high, higher low, roll reversal, kick it off, 56, 30 something. Okay, pretty standard operating procedure. Now this is assuming that the Fed is cutting interest rates, and we learned on Friday at Jackson Hole, Jay Powell told us they're going to cut interest rates, so they're going to cut interest rates. So what's the consequence of that? The US dollar weakens. All right, so what about the controversy of the poll that I popped up, risk on or risk off? None of you are risk off, it seems, statistically, very few. The issue is we have tension in the Middle East. Yeah. And that could produce risk off if there's any escalation. But right now, what is happening is risk on as far as looking at what the stock market's doing. Now, if you use QuantBox, aka TRADARS Fundamental Analytics, well, it's not that easy, bro. It's not that clear. It's not that clean. Now, maybe it becomes that way, but it's not that way now. And there's a difference of what you think should be or could be or might be and reality. This is why we have quantitative tools to analyze reality, not what you think or what would assume. It's what you know. It's what you can prove. Yes, and I'm quoting Training Day, of course. Hoyt, strong safety. Yeah. Same to you, King. Okay. All right, so the stock market's going up. Yeah. Interesting. And it makes sense because the expected return of a stock is equal to the risk-free rate of return plus the beta of the expected return of the market minus the risk-free rate of return. Okay? Easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? So, what we're talking about is if the Fed, let's say, in the next, how far do you want to go? 18 months? Okay. The Fed cuts interest rates by 1.5%. Okay, so we drop from 550 down to 40, huh? Do you think that is reasonable? Of course it's reasonable. All right, cool. So if the risk-free rate of return drops from 5.5 to 4.0, this goes up. Okay. Okay. Wayne, do you think seasonality will have an effect on indices as they tend to sell in the coming months? Well, that would have already have started. By the way, I talked about that in QuantBox today. Yeah. Yeah, I already talked about that, but let's take a look. Here we go. So, all right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to QuantBox Live, where we get our global macro on and uncover the best fundamental opportunities. Yes, we look at long-term macro, but we look at short-term sentiment, the difference between what should be happening based on reason, and then what is actually happening. Cool. Nice. Cool, right? No. So I haven't uploaded anything to this channel in weeks, huh? So there you go. Oh my God. 3 weeks ago was the last time I uploaded. Cool. Well, maybe become a subscriber. And again, QuantBox is becoming TRADARS Fundamental Analytics. Fundamental Analytics. Well, MP, the closest thing that you would have would be futures contracts. So in that case, no, not really. But you could correlate. Why not hold the Canadian dollar or the Australian dollar or something? Because in Forex, MP, if Australia is selling Australian wheat to foreigners, they have to pay Aussie dollar for it. If Canada is selling oil or wheat or beef, diamonds, gold, They sell them to foreigners for Canadian dollars. So you could park yourself in commodity-based currencies. New Zealand dollar is heavily influenced by the price of milk. Did you know that? You're like, wait, what? It's weird, right? So this is the site that I use to track global dairy prices. I know you think I'm joking, right? No, I've been teaching this for, wow, not 20 years, but 15 years is probably pretty close. Okay, yeah. Global dairy, yeah, global dairy. Okay. And my long-running joke for the whole 15 years is that lactose prices are up, and that's intolerable. I know, right? Oh, yeah. Oh. Oh, mozzarella. Mozzarella. Way up. Okay. Yeah, the value of your cheddar is down. Anyways, look, and don't get me started with androgynous fat. But anyways, if you look at the value of the New Zealand dollar and the price of global dairy products, here it is here. It's extraordinary how similar they are, and we call that correlation. So you're like, hey, MP, do you want to get involved with trading dairy products? Now think about this. What are you actually trading? Lactose is sugar, milk fats and butters, cheeses, okay, powdered milk, okay, butter, milk, powder. What's going on here? These are ingredients. Okay, these are ingredients used by food manufacturing companies. So like when you go to the grocery store and you buy something in a box, okay, or you're buying like pre-made foods like sauces and stuff. These are the ingredients that go into that. And what about fast food restaurants? Okay, yeah, this is that kind of food. Okay. This is that kind of food, right? Sky Killer says, bet you didn't learn that at Harvard. No, but to be fair, I started Harvard in 2015 and got my 2 degrees by 2020. So, I've been doing this a lot longer than that. But no, they did not cover it. We call this high frequency data, by the way. Oh, yeah, but is that going to pay you a carry? I thought you were asking about a carry. I don't think that's going to pay you a carry. Yeah, but you can get there's ETFs for everything. There's indices for everything. Are they going to pay you a carry? I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, but you can design anything you want without too much problems, right? Yeah. Economics is good. Yeah, so, yeah, I talked about this. I'm putting together a speech to inspire college students to study economics. So apparently something like 85% of college students only take one economics class. And then they move on, right? They're moving on to study other things. I'd like more people to study economics because economics is used to do things like public policy and more research needs to go into the proper way to manage societies based on their economics, right? The other absurd statistic, and I don't remember the exact number, but almost everyone that studies economics is male. And there's not enough women in economics. I think we could agree with that. In particular on the research side and public policy side. So I'm doing a presentation to work on that. I'd like to inspire more young people, and particularly young girls, to be in this industry. Sky Killer wants to know about Citadel. So when I start, and this could be as soon as next week, when I start bringing everybody into the TRADARS community, we're going to do things like movie night. And we could watch documentaries about like Citadel, and we can talk about them. Renaissance is another big one that you probably have questions about. There are a few. So MP says, yes, looking for carry on the commodities. So yes, you can probably get there's many different commodity indices and ETFs, but I don't think any of them are going to really provide you with a carry. They're going to try to capture asset appreciation, which is much, much, much different. If you want the carry, you might want to try to capture it through, so like what I was trying to show you with the dairy, is you would trade New Zealand dollar, go long that against, like Swiss franc, and try to hold that forever. And it's easier to manage. Okay, it's easier to manage than many of those other things, and you can get it so it is nearly like a pure commodity play on this. So let's say you'd go long here. Okay, and you move your stop and buy it tomorrow. So you'd want to be long this. So let me change the indicators, and we want biased pivots to be north, not south. So bullish mode. Okay, and what I mean by easier is, let's say by tomorrow we make a higher high. Okay, so let's say the day trade, pretty easy day trade here, right? So you're like up, that would be today's plan. Now we want to do this, and we're going to guess where tomorrow's role reversal is going to be. Meanwhile, if this does make a higher high, it's going to drag everything up, so everything will line up by the end of the day, and tomorrow we'll probably get a scenario like this. And then soon as it makes a higher high, like that, or like this, then I will move this to break even. An MP, that's as easy as it takes. You buy it one day, usually within 24 hours, you'll be able to remove the risk entirely, put the stop, right, at break even, and now you can sit on that forever. And this gives you exposure as a commodity play. But it would give you a much cleaner carry. And so what I was pointing at when it came to dairy products, there's a high correlation. And you can do some research and find the correlation. Or like Canada, for example. Major exporter of gold, oil, diamonds, wheat, grains of all kind, really, proteins of all kind, nickel, copper, coal, lumber, right? Like the second largest producer of nickel in the world, for example. So you're getting a very, 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 very broad exposure to all commodities. And when they're sold internationally, which they are, they're priced in Canadian dollars, right? Or converted eventually from one currency into a Canadian dollar. So you might do some research, MP, and say, okay, what is the general correlation of the Canadian dollar to maybe that you said there, a Bloomberg commodity index? Okay, do some research and find out the correlation between that index or other indices related to commodities, and in particular, the correlation with the Aussie dollar, the Canadian dollar, and the New Zealand dollar. And you might find there's a high correlation, let's say, with the Canadian dollar. And you could capture the carry off of that and have, let's say, 90% of the same trade. Let's say the correlation is high, 88, right? So that means, you can capture 88% of the time the Canadian dollar is doing what the index is doing. You are catching the appreciation as well, like the index, but you're also catching the carry. Cool. Plus, you got the leverage if you want. You got cheap leverage in Forex. You don't have cheap leverage when it comes to ETFs. And futures give you like the 40-to-1 leverage, but no carry. So you can build it, is what I'm saying. You can build it through Forex. It's one of the best things about Forex. Okay, Lucas wants to do peso. Okay, yeah, sure. I'm going to have it under exotics. Okay, cool. Yeah. So I did talk about peso last week. Okay. And so there's the follow-up on that conversation. What we had at the time was support, and I said there's two scenarios, right? One, we use this as a role reversal. What's two? Well, the double top. Okay. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So like Canada provides that and more, not coffee. And coffee and sugar, for example, you might have volatility that you don't want. For example, droughts in West Africa are going to be quite a bit different than corn prices, right? Like coffee is going to be much different than corn prices and wheat prices. So I don't know if you want that in there. So, so commodities are broken into different categories, right? But I get the idea of food supply, in particular if we go into stagflation. Or if inflation continues, yes, I could see food prices, being higher. But I don't think you want soybeans and sugar to be in the same investment category. All I'm suggesting is you get that exposure through currencies, and the currencies provide you with carry and cheap leverage. So you can get basically the same trade through Forex. And by the way, Forex has better taxation as well. But let me ask you, why would wheat provide you a carry? How much interest rate does wheat provide you? Well, none. Where would the carry come from? Okay, when you invest into currencies, you're lending governments money. So right now, when you lend the United States money, they're going to pay you 5.25 to 5.5. That's where the carry comes from. Okay. Anyways, going back to peso, plan A, plan B. Okay, plan A, plan B. And so Lucas is like, yeah, what do you think of this one? Yeah. I think if you were into this, I would understand. Let's see, M3 to M1. All right. If you were into that, Lucas, I'd understand what you're doing. Alex, how would a professional plan ahead for Fed cut? They'd sell the dollar. Oh, you're going weekly, huh? Wow. All right. I'm thinking more monetary policy, Lucas. That's what I'm thinking about. So if the Fed cuts, hang on, I'm trying to delete this. Okay. If the Fed cuts, Lucas, the US dollar will weaken. It would positively impact the United States growth potential, which would likely increase the amount of business it's doing with its partners and maintaining like the nearshoring idea that we had last year and the year before, right? So I'm just kind of threading that old narrative that we bring that back. So that just says to me, my fundamental opinion is that there's a high probability now, more than before, okay, that we go back in this direction for the next year and a half. So when you look at it on an hourly chart, this weekly chart, it actually still presents itself as somewhat bullish. Okay, because I'm going to look left. By the way, that reminds me, on Thursday, we had a great swing trading class. Man, I loved it. And we really broke down setting up these trades. Huh? Look left. And we really used the TRADARS technical analytics side, the technical analytics. But anyways, Lucas, this is like, there's still lots of potential technically for something like this on this time frame. Yeah, but you're saying it's lining up with resistance. Well, let's look at it from the daily point of view. Yes, here. But I don't know if I like it that way on the weekly. Because there's still going to be potential for this on this new weekly candle. Right? Because I think what you're seeing is this zone holding so well. Yeah. So really, the way to really play this is that it comes down, up, and then down, right? And then we start going that way. But I do all of this fundamentally first. right? So you have to have that fundamental picture first. Yeah, you were zoomed out quite a bit more. I mean, I'll do it. I have too many tools on here, right? But I can delete all of that, and let's just go to, go this way. Yeah, okay. I mean, you're using annuals, right? But you see, in my opinion, on this, I don't quite see. I mean, I'm guessing you see this rejection. Oops, let's do that in black. Okay. Yes. Off of this zone over here, right? Lots of consolidation. Yeah. But what I was trying to say before is if I was a bull, I would see this as that we're going back up. Potentially here. Technically. So this chart seems to be, it's too early to trade. Right? It's too early to trade on this time frame. On the smaller time frame, yeah, we can play this, but on this higher time frame, it's too early. But we'll go into here. If, remember, if and then, by the way, my new mouse is so much, right? I finally hooked it up. Okay. If this holds, then we take the shot. And I don't see that as being a good setup on the weekly, but we do definitely see it on the daily, in particular with monthly pivot points, not annual pivot points. So it's more like, look, if it rolls over here, okay, there's still like a lot that needs to happen, huh? A lot needs to happen. Okay. Now, the second thing for everybody else, check this out. Double bottom, annual M2, this is the target. Completed pattern. Very cool, huh? Okay. Okay. Nice. But if we go back, let's delete. Okay. We have to deal with this, which just happens to be, that R1. We got to get through that. And then there's going to be an issue here. Okay. And then there's going to be an issue here. Notice all these are pivot points. Yeah. And then there's the bottom. And eventually that will be an issue somewhere in the future. They're all pivot points. Gorgeous. So what I would do is I would set up a plan. I'd say, okay, let's look at this as a bottom. And then we're kind of caught sort of in here. And so I would drop into the smaller time frame. Trade it as a top. Oops, I guess I can remove this. Okay, so we just double topped on the annual M4. Could you string together a narrative to sell this? Yes. Now, I teach you that there are two ways to trade this. You can do other ways, they're just wrong. Right? Oh, there's other ways to trade it. Those are the wrong ways. There are two. There are two, right? All right. Double top. Okay. The next one really is we need a lower low, lower high. And once you got double top channel, game on to the downside. Yeah. And the thing is, it could be down for a year. Well, Alex says, as for the dollar, the cut is already priced in. Yeah, but I taught you a week ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, how to do it. So the thing is, well, how do you do it now? Well, I don't know. Like, why haven't you already done it? I mean, I don't know if you can do it now. Okay. Right, Alex? So the Fed Watch tool is a good one. But, like QuantBox, for example, QuantBox, it tells you. We have a whole section on monetary policy of the central banks. So, how about this? Alex, when is the Bank of Japan going to raise interest rates? People are debating about this, talking about this, trading or unwinding based on all of that. When are they going to raise? Markets are they're boring. So, everyone's debating it. They have experts on TV talking about what they think. So, tell me, when is the Bank of Japan going to raise interest rates again? You can type in a question mark, Alex, if you don't know. Alex is gone. He just walked out the back door.
Alex has left the building.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mikhail knows. Q1 2025. So Mikhail could say, well, between now and then, he could look for scenarios in which he could buy the Japanese yen before everyone else is flooded into that trade. He could front run that. It's probably too early now because not everyone's still debating. And we know it's probably going to happen in January, February, March, but they also probably want to do it when the markets are thinner. So, and by the way, they already told us that they're not going to cut interest rates while the market is so sensitive. They said that right after the big carry trade unwind. But they had already told us Q1 2025. But people were freaking out. They're going to raise again. They're going to raise again. And the media keeps talking about the surprise rate increase. But we already had it plotted in QuantBox. I mean, there's no reason to not know. So, how do you trade the dollar after the fact? Well, you can't. It's already been priced in. So instead, well, what's the next one? Is Europe going to cut? Is Japan going to raise? What about Australia versus New Zealand versus Canada? Well, this is why I read all the reports as well. Okay? Yeah, but you don't have to go to the Bank of Japan website. It's in QuantBox. It's plotted. We have charts. Right? You don't have to track. You just look at it. Okay? We pull it directly from the database. Yeah. So you're doing it the hard way, Alejandro. So anyways. Cool. So this is how I would do this. We need a lower low, lower high before I have full buy-in. But you could do it sooner. We could both want the same thing and trade it much differently. Okay? So now we're looking at a day trade. Okay? So we know, using the idea of Fibonacci, that somewhere between the 50% and the 618 is the likely sell. Do you agree? Double top drop, Fibonacci pullback drop. What do you guys think about that? If you were going to do this, again, it may not be the best way, but it is a way. I just want you to make a decision. So you measure it Fibonacci, and somewhere around this price, you would look to sell this. Cool. Do we have a market open right now? Hell yeah, it's 10 o'clock in the a.m. Good. Let's get on the Fiverr and take this down. Okay, so now I got my triple, and I wait, and if I get a scenario of lower low, lower high here, I can start building positions on, right? And right now it ain't happening. Okay, that's all right. I can wait. I can wait all day. It's the best way to be wrong. Sit here and not trade all day and not lose money. That's the best way. Okay. While I have you guys here, I got feedback about a week ago from the Investor Bootcamp community that they're interested in having a 24-hour-a-day news trading service, including live coaching during the highest, most volatile news events that present scalping opportunities. So it would be a team that wants to trade throughout the day. So for those that love to drop into a 5-minute and get some trades on, multiple trades a day, but also trade big news events that create volatility, like, Australian GDP, Canadian CPI, durable goods out of the United States of America. Yeah. So like a combination of all scalping strategies, but having a live news desk 24 hours a day being part of it. Well, Lucas, I respect you greatly, so anytime. Yes. So how many people would be interested in a service like that with a mixture of a live trading desk, so you get news events results, you get the news faster than everybody, and a team of people are not just watching all the news, that's just a headline, but them explaining it, but also preparing you. We're about 12 minutes away from the big news event, right? That kind of stuff. And then the news comes out. They give you the numbers, and then they give you the explanation. Meanwhile, you're trading them, right? But we also have a live coach that comes out during the most impactful news events and are setting it up and knocking it down with you in the coaching room. You see, real-time news coverage and event coverage, and something that's open 24 hours a day. So you could just have that part of TRADARS open and you're trading your 5-minute chart. Meanwhile, you got somebody listening to everything. You would have gotten the durable goods a few seconds before everybody else. Yeah. If I can get enough people, and I'm still negotiating with the various constituencies because I have to license all this technology and stuff, but I need in the beginning a couple of dozen people, and then down the road 3 dozen people, and then down the road 5 dozen people, and maybe in a year, if we can get to 100 people that want to just have the scalping service, TRADARS can provide that. Yeah, Sunday. Well, you should be getting the email version, but you're not getting the text version. The texting has been the problem. And so I have meetings about that today. Okay. But like I said, email me right now because I'm about to go into other meetings with the team. But again, you signed up, so you're getting the emails. What you're not getting is the texts. And that's not us, that's the service provider. Their API is broken or something like that. Cool. So only one person is interested in the new scalping service? Imagine like a room open 24 hours a day with people, real people. I mean, there's going to be probably 6 people on a news desk, a trading desk. All right, well, email me right now. Don't email me in the middle of the night when I'm sleeping and then I get 200 emails. And then, and I go into the next thing. You got to hit me when I'm hot. Okay? You guys are into that? Now, part of this is you could even talk to them. Not talk to them, but you can ask them questions. There's a little button where you can ask a question and they can get back to you. We have 2 different upgrades on the different services, and when I launch the new version of TRADARS next week, those aren't going to be integrated yet. So I'm going to have to integrate them after. But we have an alert service that tracks changes in QuantBox, and we have a service that provides daily trade plans, technically. So we have a fundamental alert service and a technical alert service. Okay. And so Sunday Dennis is saying, not getting the fundamentals, but I am getting them by email. So that part, let me double check unless it's stopped again. Because it's service providers that get glitchy on us, right? So at 5:58, I got the quantbox.ai.alerts, which is the market open report. So yeah, it's working for me. So that part. So at 5:58 a.m., it said QuantBox raised its bullishness on the German stock market from a 3 to a 5. I got that this morning. Yeah. So email me now, Sunday. And, I need to go into those development, so I'll do my best. Right on, Alejandro. So this part is the trading side, right? Like we're talking about, does it make sense to sell USD Mexican peso? Yes. Is this a good opportunity at the moment? No. Fundamentals say yes, and fundamentals are not wrong. Technicals only tell us the price and the time. So is this the right price? Maybe, or we're close to it. Is it the right time? No. So we could have a plan of attack and say, well, in here it's reasonable. So that's the price. Are we near a proper price? Yeah, kind of. No, what if it goes higher? No, because it'll probably go much higher, probably as high as this zone. Oops, I'm trying to grab the tool here. Okay, so that's plan B. Well, that ain't going to happen in the next hour. Thank you, Sunday. And Sunday, thank you very much for your patience. I do appreciate it. Yeah, there's a lot going on, and so I'll have to take some time to figure out what that issue is, but you should be getting the email. Okay, but yeah, all right. All right, so we're sitting here now with a fundamental strategy. We're thinking about somewhere in this zone in the next hour or two to sell. Maybe in the next 4 hours, we want to sell. If that fails, it's going way up here. Well, that ain't going to happen this morning. So that's like later today or tomorrow. So strategically, we're already eyeballing this. So we know the price. The next issue is, well, when do we sell? That's the time. Do we sell now? No. Okay, but what if it heads up to this pivot point and then rolls over? You could. What if it comes down to here and then comes up and then makes a lower high? Then you could sell there. What if it makes a lower high and then you can sell here? And now, now you prepare and you just wait. And if you're wrong, it's going to go way the heck up here, and you never get an opportunity to sell. See? Now you're just waiting. You're a bear. It's going up. Good. See, an amateur will chase it because it's going up. A professional says it's going up. Great. I'm just waiting to sell it. There's a difference. One is reacting and the other one is ambushing. Okay? All right, so that's that. That's how to trade. So guys, look, in the next week or so, there's a lot that's going to change on the outside as we move everything over to TRADARS. Internally, really, if you're a swing trader, you still have swing trading. If you're a day trader, you still have day trading. If you have quant box, you'll still have quant box. Okay, that kind of stuff. But inevitably, there are some changes coming. And inevitably, some things are going to break. Some things are not going to work. Why? It's called life. But I've spent a month and a half trying to take care of things so that you don't really have to do much. So I'm spending time and money, and we're developing custom code to have these different services talk to each other. Okay, so it should be painless and easy, but you know it's not going to be, right? Let's be real. So for some of you, all of a sudden, well, your login at Traders might not work, but it'll still work at QuantBox or Investor Bootcamp. The thing is, the big change is the live events and the recordings are suddenly not going to be at QuantBox. They're going to be at TRADARS in the fundamental analytical section, right? But you'll still have access to QuantBox if you're a QuantBox subscriber. But if you want to watch the daily recordings or attend the daily recordings, which many of you do, the big change is, well, they won't be at QuantBox, they'll be over at TRADARS. And there's a whole section for that. But it should work. Now, there's also some of you that have like some annual memberships. Some of you have some special deals from 2 years ago. And those might have to be manually recreated and such, because they're not as easy, let's just say, to connect. So there might be a little bit of glitch in the first week or something, but we'll get it taken care of. So my development team, we're finalizing the last little things in the last couple of days. We're going to be ready hopefully next week. Everything will be done over at at TRADARS. I think for about 85% of you, everything's going to work right as rain. And for other stuff, the team will be ready, willing, and able to help sort you out if it doesn't work. So the bottom line is a little bit of patience. I think everything will be fine. There's no need to freak out. The only changes that are happening are things are going to get better. Okay. By the way, are you eyeballing this? Right? Okay. So really cool stuff's happening. But that comes with change. And just, in this case, change is good. And if it's a little glitchy in the beginning, if there's a little, some work has to be handled manually, please roll with it. And I think very, very, very quickly, you'll see nothing but upside, nothing but better. And I have some new tools to release for you. There's some upgrades that have already been done that are going to blow you away. So it's very, very exciting. So that's happening in the near future. Maybe as soon as, it could be as soon as Sunday evening, day traders will be logging into TRADARS to attend the day trading group. How nice is that, huh? So keep your eyes and ears peeled. Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May our profits be above average. Cheers.